How often are you actually fully present with what you're doing? What percent of your waking hours do you think you're lost in thoughts? It's surprisingly high. I'll tell you what research says after I share a story about it. A monk asked his teacher, "How can I find peace?" The teacher replied, "When eating, eat. When walking, walk." The monk protested, "But I already do that." The teacher smiled, "No. When eating, you think about walking. When walking, you think about eating. Be fully present." I personally know this story all too well. At work, I used to think about the weekend or dinner with friends. At home, I would think about problems at work. Going on vacation, I ruminate about needing to come back. Rarely feeling satisfied, rarely truly arriving. My name is Ilya, and I help busy people discover natural resilience, ease, and satisfaction in the midst of their daily lives. This is a Wisdom Stories series, a series of videos about lessons from ancient stories that speak to our modern lives. Remember I asked you what percent of your waking hours you spend being lost in thoughts? According to a Harvard University study, the average person spends at least 47% of their waking hours lost in thoughts and not being fully present. 47%. This means that we spend a third of our life sleeping and another third of our life lost in thoughts, leaving us only a third of our life to try to enjoy. Isn't it mind-blowing? Regular meditation, complemented with additional daily life practices, significantly increases the amount of time we spend being present. I'll share one of those daily life practices later in the video. Before we discuss meditation and other methods, you might still be wondering why there is so much emphasis on being present. Maybe you like your thoughts. Maybe yours are really entertaining. It's a really good question. I think we all need to taste for ourselves the answer to this question. So let's do a reflection together. Are you ready? I invite you to sit comfortably, close your eyes if you'd like, and bring to mind something you really like, something you really cherish. Maybe a place in nature, a person, or a pet. Imagine them as vividly as you can. Please imagine what they look like, the sounds, maybe smells, maybe what they're doing. Now, I invite you to shift your attention and feel the sensations in your hands or in some other part of the body that has strong sensations. So it could be hands. Maybe you can feel the touch with the surface beneath you or the sensations of pressure underneath your feet. Please experience the sensations and then reflect on what feels more alive. The friend or place you imagined or the experience of present sensations. You can open your eyes if they were closed and consider what has more aliveness in it, your imagination or the experience of the room you're in. A Zen teacher I study with calls the world of thoughts the world of echoes. It's a world of imagination about something that has been or might be, and it lacks the aliveness and the richness of our direct experience through the senses. A memory of the taste of the banana doesn't compare to the taste of the banana. I love bananas. Here is another story on this point. Two friends hiked through a forest. One worried endlessly about what might go wrong. What if it rains? What if we get lost? What if we run out of water or food? The other person walked mindfully, savoring the birdsong, the warmth of the sun, enjoying the flavor of wild huckleberries that he picked from the bushes. At the end of their journey, the mindful friend said, "That was a beautiful walk." To which the other traveler responded, "I'm glad we made it home in one piece, okay?" Which friend do you resonate with? What kind of a traveler through the forest of life are you? Do you live in the world where everything can go wrong all the time, or a world that is beautiful? Or maybe some balance between the two? What's important to remember is that we have a choice. It's not easy and it requires some mind training, but we can choose if we want to live in the anxious projections of our minds or in the direct experience of our life, that in most cases is much richer and not as bad as our mind makes it look like. When we're present, life becomes more interesting, more alive. But when our minds are not trained, we constantly wander away into stories about our past and future. This restlessness of the mind creates a sense of never arriving, a sense of always chasing the next thing, running away from something, or solving some hypothetical problems, even though most of those problems never happen. The world of thoughts is tempting, but not satisfying. When you're at work and are constantly thinking about the weekend or lunch break, you can't do your best job and miss opportunities to enjoy the work that you have. Similarly, when you're at home or with friends and are constantly thinking about work, you miss opportunities to recharge your batteries and connect with others. The key to start changing this pattern is setting an intention to be present and prioritize presence over being lost in thoughts. You can write down on a piece of paper and read it in the morning, or put a sticky note on your desk or fridge that says something like, "Here, be aware." Each time you notice you're lost in thoughts, gently bring your attention back to the experience of the present moment through the senses. Over time, this will retrain your brain to live more fully here and now. You'll find more practices like that in our upcoming courses, and you'll find a link to it in the description below. As you deepen your practice of presence, you'll start to experience more relaxation, clarity, and connection. You'll transition more easily between work and personal life. You'll handle challenges with greater awareness and less reactivity. So as the Zen master says, when eating, eat. When walking, walk. When working, just work. When playing with your kids, just play with your kids. The very act of giving your full attention to something reduces anxiety and creates conditions for the natural joy and ease of the human mind to come forward. When you stop constantly wanting to be somewhere else and choose to experience what is present, even when it's difficult, you remove a huge amount of stress and resistance from your nervous system, and you start to finally truly relax into the very life that you have. It's sometimes shocking how different and wonderful life feels when perceived with a deeply present mind. Please enjoy this practice of presence, and thank you for giving this video your full attention.